JavaScript is basically what they call scripting language for web environment. What it does is it give you very quick access to those very dynamic feature of JavaScript so that you can use for creating forms, creating all those dynamic feature of the web page, the scrolling bars and all those action going on this web page are done by JavaScript and pretty easy to use basically. But one thing different from other languages, JavaScript is case sensitive, meaning that uppercase A and lowercase a are two different things in this language, for example. And let's try that sample JS program, JavaScript program. So we can still use Notepad to edit. So we're gonna save it as first javascript.html. Okay. And go back to file, save it as new. Make sure it has been saved before you close or creating new. Click new, paste the first JavaScript, and we can save it JavaScript as HTML as well because they are compatible file type. Okay, so first JavaScript .html. Okay, save it. All right, so that's what we had here. And more examples of JavaScript and very exciting and interesting JavaScripts are located in wd3schools.com. Okay. Now, we're going to try a different JavaScript here. And this is what we call try.js.html. HTML or HTML, same thing. All right, again, this is going to be new JavaScript. So I'm going to click new, paste. Make sure you press backspace so that nothing after last bracket. Because if you have an extra space after bracket, it'll take it as a space, take it as a character. Okay, so you should not have any character at the end of bracket. As you can see, starting from script, end with script, backslash script. So that's how you start, how you end JavaScript, right? And you're gonna click save, file, save it as. What was the name again? Try.js, right? So we're gonna save it as try.js.html. Okay, save it. Now we can run this first JavaScript, which is try.js, run it. And basically the script activated. As you can see, there's a pop-up. So you click OK. Another pop-up. Sure, OK. Another pop-up. You say, then forced to enter something. Otherwise, we cannot move on. Hide it. And it says you wrote ID. Click OK. So that's the idea of creating a whole bunch of pop-ups in those weird pages, right? So that's the idea of using JavaScript to make all those things work. All right, and then all right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create HTML, but what we just did it here was just using JavaScript as your independent file. But other times, I mean actually many times, this script will be embedded into HTML file, okay, rather than just using it as a separate file. If it is not too big, and the script is too big and it contains a lot of activities, and it can stand as external file, but otherwise a bit small, you can always embed JavaScript into HTML file. So that's what we're going to do, okay? So we're going to go back to Notepad. I'm going to open first first web.html, so that we can embed this JavaScript. Copy back to first, actually that's first JavaScript.html. Sorry, first JavaScript. Open Notepad. Okay, so that's what we need to use. And this JavaScript can go between body and body. Okay, that's the beginning of body, end of body. Okay, we already have JavaScript here, but you can have multiple JavaScript into your body. Okay, so I'm going to just leave a space a little bit, then paste, so that our JavaScript goes here. Let me go back to the instruction. Oh, okay, sorry. This one is save it as external file. Okay, I think I misunderstood. Well, that's the one way to do it. Okay, it's not completely wrong, but that's one way to do it. But it's not what actually instruction says. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna save it as a separate prog.js, separate JavaScript, and name it as prog.js. Save it as prog.js. If JavaScript is saved as an external file, you must save it as .js, stand for JavaScript. Okay. So we're saving it, prog.js. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open first JavaScript.html. Then we're going to call that external JavaScript we just created, which is prog.js. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to add this script right here. You can delete this guy and insert or paste what you just copy from here, right? Then what it'll do is it'll call prog.js. Actually, I had it uppercase P, so must be matched because it's case sensitive. So this prog.js will be called upon and execute in this line, okay? And I'm gonna save it as different file. Yeah, include javascript.html. Okay, that's what we're gonna save it as. Meaning it's gonna be new file. Include javascript.html. Save it. And back to your folder. And just run include javascript.html we just created. There you go. Hello. Oops. Okay, so that's basically what we have. So as you can see, JavaScript can do quite interesting thing. If we had a class, the face-to-face, or if we had more time, I think we could have done some real JavaScript code because we have collection of those free JavaScript that we can work with, like a calendar, clock, even game, those stuff can be added to your web page. Okay, so I'll see you in another video.